Alright, Wither, you are going to go down here in a moment, and you're going to go down with some TNT arrows, so prepare yourself. What's up, agents? Zer here, welcome back to the lab. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Zer0's add-on. Now this add-on was created by a guy by the name of Jimbo_ACub, so huge shout out to him. So make sure to check his links down in the description to go see what he's like. Anyway, so as I mentioned, the Zer0's add-on, so this is actually a relatively simple add-on. This adds in 3 new arrow types into the game, and these are not replacing any items of which are already in the game. This is replacing unused data values, which is actually really nice. And I've actually got pretty much everything already inside this chest. We have ourselves a lightning arrowhead, we have ourselves a TNT arrowhead, and we have a fire TNT arrowhead. Now there are 2 ways of which you can actually get these. The first of which, you can actually kill skeletons, which by the way have a 0.035% chance of actually dropping one of these arrowheads, so you can in fact get these in survival. Or if you would rather spawn them in using commands, you can have one right here for the lightning arrow. So these are replacing yellow flowers. Now here's how this command works. The first one that I have in this command is simply telling me how many of these that I want. In this case, it's only going to give me 1. The second one right here is the data value. This is what's important. So you have a data value of 1, which is going to give me the lightning arrow. If I go in here to the TNT arrowhead, this has a data value of 2, so this is going to give me the TNT head as you'd expect. And lastly, if we go into here, this has a data value of 3. This is going to give me the fire TNT arrowhead. So if I go ahead and just press all these buttons as you expect, it just gives me them one by one. Now one thing I want to go ahead and mention is that I actually used an anvil to rename these 3 arrowheads, because when you get them through commands, and I'm assuming it's the same when getting them from skeletons, they do not have specific names, which I will at least forgive the add-on creator for that, because I know sometimes they can be a little bit difficult. But we're actually going to be taking a look at all 3 of these arrowheads, and the way this works is actually kind of interesting, because the way you get this to work is you actually need to highlight them on your hotbar. And the first one we're actually going to be taking a look at is the fire TNT. Now this is going to be one of the few times that I'm testing something like this outside of the obsidian chamber, because I did some testing a little bit earlier. Not only did it create some significant amount of lag from the amount of portals it spawned in there, because it's obsidian, that makes a lot of sense, but it also messed with my GUI quite a bit. So I'm going to be testing this out in the vehicle bay, and here's how this works. I already mentioned this, but I'm going to say this again. The way this works is you first need to have the arrowhead that you want to use in your hotbar, and you select it. Then you go back to your bow, and yes, I do realize I do not have an arrow in my inventory, but I'm in creative mode, so it doesn't matter. So all you have to do is pull back the bow, shoot it, and as you can tell, it spawned in a lot of fire, and it also created a little bit of damage. So as you can see, this is what it did. This is why I wanted to do it in the vehicle bay, at least not in the obsidian chamber, because as I mentioned, lag creates some problems with my GUI, and at the same time spawns in nether pearl. So there's the fire TNT arrowhead for you. Now let's go ahead and move on to the lightning arrowhead. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on night vision and enter the obsidian chamber, and you're going to see exactly how this works. Now this can in fact be used to spawn in a charge creeper. If you really want to, you can summon a charge creeper using this method. So just hold the arrowhead just like the other one, then go back to your bow, Go ahead and fire it, and as you'd expect, it creates a little bit of lightning. Let me go ahead and do that a second time. Let's aim for the wall, and as you'd expect, as I already mentioned, summons a lightning bolt. Not too bad. Now let's go ahead and do the last one, which is the TNT arrowhead. Now this does pretty much as you'd expect. When you fire it at something, it creates an explosion, and I did not select the TNT arrowhead before I got started, so that's proof that you need to actually select it first. So let's go ahead and try this again, and yeah, that creates an explosion, and we're actually going to be doing some testing with this. I have myself a chest. You guys probably saw this coming. If you're familiar with Zer0's lab, then you probably saw the fact that there's a chest there, and it probably had the stuff needed to summon a wither. So we're going to be testing the TNT arrowhead on the wither and see how well this is going to go. Alright, wither, you are going to go down here in a moment, and you're going to go down with some TNT arrows, so prepare yourself. Alright, you've been fully summoned, so let's go ahead and start shooting you. And it doesn't look like it did. Okay, so it's not doing a whole heck of a lot of damage. I've seen some... Oh, that did a lot of damage. Okay, so it seems to vary depending on if you actually successfully manage to hit the actual wither itself. So it actually does some decent damage to not a whole heck of a lot of damage depending on how you aim it. So that's actually not too bad, and I really like the amount of damage that this is doing now that I'm actually being a little more consistent with it. And is that it for the wither? Yep, there we go. There it is. Alright, so that's actually not too bad, and I do like the idea behind these arrows a lot and how it actually ends up working. It's actually really kind of cool. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and mention is that if you go to the MCP DL page where you can download this, there's actually a comment posted by the creator himself, Jim Acub, saying that he's actually looking for ideas for future arrows that he could actually add into this add-on. And I actually have one particular idea in mind, and that's to add in like an ender arrowhead. So basically it works the exact same as a ender pearl, but it's in the form of an arrow. And that's just one idea I had. If any of you guys have any further ideas, go ahead, go to MCPDL, let the creator know what ideas that you have, and maybe in an update he'll add them in, and we'll have the ability to play around with those. But anyway, I think that's actually a good place to go ahead and end off the video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. One more, make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCP0 to stay updated. This has been Zer0's. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.